Zepbound 12.5 milligrams, my 7 pillars for fabulous results and success. Hi, beautiful friends. I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I have lost over 106 pounds the last 26 months of being on Zepbound. I'm currently on the highest dose, which as currently right now is Zepbound 15 milligrams, which I've been on for over 14 months now. And I'm really excited on today's episode to talk about specifically Zepbound 12.5 milligrams. So if you are currently on Zepbound 10 milligrams, or you're just researching Zepbound, or you've just started or been on for a few weeks, this is the video for you, which means you're one of the big dogs. And I couldn't find any dog stuffed animals, so we're gonna do a big narwhal. You're part of the big dogs club. You're part of the big narwhal club. Pretend it's a dog. And so I want to talk to you about this because Zepbound 12.5 milligrams, if you've literally titrated it up every single month, which some of y'all have, which is, it blows my mind, or you've been on for 2 years, so we're talking a spectrum of time on there. The time doesn't really matter, but from my experience, strength, and hope, I am not medical at all. Full disclosure, this is what's worked really well for me to go from morbidly obese now to I'm very close to being a healthy weight. I'm still considered technically overweight, but man, I'm doing things like horseback riding and lifting weights and doing all of these cool things that I never would have done in my wildest dream if it hadn't been for Zepbound. So I feel like I can speak from my own experience, strength, and hope. None of it's medical advice. Always talk to your own healthcare provider, and hopefully this video will help that conversation with them and never to be construed as medical advice. Let's dive in. So one of the first things that I see for long-term success for Zepbound for me, because literally GLP-1 medication has been the only thing that has worked to keep the weight off and continue to lose weight as I go along this weight loss journey, is number one is immediately, if you have not gotten a blood panel recently from starting Zepbound, one, I would be stunned, but two, I would really encourage you to talk to your healthcare provider about getting a blood panel. Check that. Check that, boo. Like that is your number one action item of do you have any nutritional deficiencies? Because at this point, the baseline would be the lowest that people have been on this is 5 months, but many of you have been, and in my free encouragement group, which by the way, all the free resources I'm talking about and resources in today's video will be linked in the description. Just click that ... more. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. I've literally helped thousands of people through conversations of what's worked well for me, and collectively iron has sharpened iron to make the Countess of Shopping community really, really strong and a quality-based community to help, like literally to help and to encourage. So number one, talk to your healthcare provider about a blood panel if you've not had one since starting this medication. Again, I'd be very surprised if your healthcare provider has not had you do that. But some people, that blows my mind. But if that's the case, go ask and request one. Because the nutritional deficiencies, potentially, if you're eating substantially less over that period of time, you're going to want to know if there's nutritional deficiencies in there. And within that, that is tip number 2 of figuring out lifestyle changes at this point. For me, I started 12.5 milligrams and I ended up staying on 12.5 milligrams for 6 months before titrating up to Zepbound 15 milligrams. And so when I first titrated up, it was the first 6 months got me from 2.5 milligrams in terms of, do I have the dosing on here? Yeah, 2.5 milligrams to get to the 12.5 milligrams dosing. That took me 6 months, and then 6 months on 12.5 milligrams. So a full year basically total before I hit the Zepbound 15 milligrams, which is the highest dose. And so within that, it was all I could do my first year to just learn about food changes and how does that work for me. And I really learned something about myself, and this is tip number 2. Do you eat out a lot or do you cook at home a lot? I was talking with a girlfriend yesterday who's been on semaglutide. She looks fabulous. We went out for coffee and I'm like, you look amazing. She totally motivated me. I'm like, you look so fabulous. And we were talking about it. And she's like, Elizabeth, I know you talk in your videos about cooking, but also I know you're talking in your videos about eating out a lot. And I'm like, yes, I do. I try to cook, but I'm kind of the Swedish chef in terms of cooking, but also my lifestyle, I'm just not, eating out is easier for us. And so what I want to encourage you is thine own self be true. Tip number 2 is while you're at this point, if you've not started to make adjustments with your food, which I'm assuming you have, but if you haven't, to get super clear for yourself of what makes the best sense for you. if it's cooking, finding some recipes for you to cook, and if it's eating out, finding some new places to eat out with, that would be in conjunction with having a high protein diet. Now, obviously talk to your healthcare provider before starting any sort of new diet, but that works well, and we're gonna talk about that as some of the pillars in here. And also having a nutrient-dense food. And so for me, that's vegetables and fruits. And so with that, I have gotten really good at, and what I want to encourage you of when I eat out, what do I like to eat out? I have a whole like what I eat in a day series, what I eat at Panda Express and Chipotle and a bunch of other places that are healthy, like really healthy, like fresh vegetables from Panda Express. Who knew? With good proteins. In fact, maybe I'll have that for dinner tonight. And then that's usually my Zepbound dinner, and I'll have it the next day for Zepbound lunch. But getting super clear in terms of, do you want to cook more from home? And my friend basically was like, I don't want to learn how to cook. Like, I don't want to invest my time into that. She's like, what I do want to learn is better eating out options. Cause she's like, I eat a ton of protein bars. I eat a ton of protein shakes. And she's like, that is awesome. And I love that. That's great for me. She's like, but now she's like the next faves. And I think of it like Mario, like the game system. Do you guys remember that? Like Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. Remember that? So like the next level up in Super Mario Brothers is learning to then start weaving in, you know, some fresh fruits and vegetables if you haven't already, or like the next level of nutrition for you. Because some of us are going to stair step at different levels. Obesity is a wide spectrum disease. And so within that, it would not be fair to be like, oh, you should do this, like one size fits all. This is not one size fits all moo gallery here, honey. No, this is like, we're gonna customize it for our own preferences of what's gonna best set us up for success. And for me, with my lifestyle, with a very active 9.5-year-old boy, is gonna be very different than a retired grandmother. You see what I'm saying? Like, we may have although many of y'all are my besties who are the retired grandmothers. I love you guys so much. Literally, I love you guys so much. And like people who work out of the home and are going to the office every day, I work from home. Like, there's different nuances in here and what makes the best sense for you. But what I want, and the next pillar for you, is getting very clear if you're eating out and getting good at that, or cooking from home, or the hybrid of the two, of having and leveling up the next level in your nutrition with that. That for me has been chef's kiss, one of the best things I could do instead of judging myself that I eat out all the time, accepting that that's my life right now. Eventually, I'd really like to cook a lot more food, but that's just not where my life is right now. And learning how to get good at that. And so now I'm really good at eating Chipotle. We eat at Chipotle once a week, if not twice a week. That $19 bowl that I get, because I get extra protein on it, I will split into two. So it really only makes my meal less than $10 per meal. And actually, for me, if I was cooking at home, I would probably throw out some of those groceries because we didn't end up cooking them. And it's easier for us to just eat out, and we have some good spots in our area, like Jersey Mike's, for example, where I can get one of those bowls really, really easily. Is that having extra added fats into it and extra things into it? Yes, it does. But I'm okay with that. This is why I want to say, thine own self be true, you do you, or getting really good at cooking at home with some meals that make sense for a high protein diet and nutrient dense food, or whatever meal plan you subscribe to, which I have a free one that a dietitian created. There's actually 3 of them down there. They are totally free on countessofshopping.com. My gift to you. I bought them. I paid over $1,000 for them, but I wanted to buy the licensing rights so I could give it away for free. Okay, that was number 2, our second pillar. Number 3 pillar is prioritizing protein. For me, makes the most sense because now at this phase in the game of being on Zepbound 10 milligrams and going to Zepbound 12.5 milligrams, there was still appetite, not appetite suppression, but my appetite was coming back. And so for me to combat that, the 1-2 punch was eating more protein. Now, when I first started the game of Zepbound, I was having probably realistically around like 50 grams of protein per day. And that was me thinking I was having a high protein diet. For me now, because I lift, I'm almost 6 feet tall. And again, talk with your own healthcare provider. I am not that. I'm simply sharing my experience, strength, and hope. But this was before, this is now, of me lifting. I have 120 plus grams of protein per day, at least 100 grams of protein per day, if not more. Depending on shot day, that's not every single day, but just on average on day 5, day 6, day 7, because we know half-life dose is on day 5. And that for Zepbound is going to curtail our appetite suppression. With eating more protein, I found my tummy went through some loop-de-loos there. And so one of the things that I wanted to try, you guys know I always talk about BIOptimizers Magnesium Breakthrough. I'll talk about that later, but like it's my daily absolute must supplement. I am obsessed with it, like obsessed. And I wanted to try and test BIOptimizers, their masszymes, their digestive enzymes. And many of y'all had asked me about digestive enzymes, and y'all, I'm not gonna give something and say it's Countess of Shopping approved unless I test it, unless I try it, unless I feel comfortable with the science behind it. And so in terms of the science behind it with masszymes, one of the best things I started to do was to start taking these with protein because they help digest the protein. I found that my stomach was getting bloated. It felt weird because we know with Zepbound, there is a slowdown of its gastric emptying slows down. And so if you have any sort of sidebar, any sort of pancreatitis, like inflammation with it, you should not take digestive enzymes. And quite frankly, before taking any supplement, you should always talk with your own healthcare provider. My healthcare provider was like, you have my blessing, go for it. So this is what the pills look like. There's 3 of them that I take in the meal, and it helps with my digestion with it. With consuming more protein for me, this has been helpful because it does help with the digestion component of it. I meant to put this on my screen and I realized I did not download my pictures to show. So pretend that I am flashing this up on my screen right now. Pretend that I'm flashing this up on my screen right now, but I'm like so embarrassed I didn't download these. They're supposed to be right here so I could go bam, 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 but it's helping with, there is actually over, with the 19 enzymes, there's over, this is like embarrassing. I'm so mortified. Will you forgive me, bestie, for being, I did not download my slides. Like, why didn't I download my slides? I thought I had before I came on camera. But with the digestive enzyme, the bottom line is that it has enzymes in there to help with digestion. And for me, increasing protein, there was this accounting that needed to be done essentially in my stomach, that it's been very, very helpful to have. And one of the things that I like about BIOptimizers with their masszymes is that there's 4 times more enzymes than any other brand, which helps with bloating, helps with gas. That really wasn't my issue, the gas part of it. I wasn't tooty, but the bloating kind of was as I was going through and testing proteins with me and changing my eating habits. Helps with gut health on there, promotes daily bowel movements, supports muscular growth and recovery, supports faster digestion, and increases nutrient absorption with it. Now, one of the things I like about BIOptimizers is they have, in terms of their testing, over 4,000 different quality tests with it, which I was like, because yeah, I've been taking BIOptimizers now for a long time. If you've heard my 2+ year journey of GLP-1 medication, I talk about BIOptimizers all the time. So anyways, I highly recommend. Very helpful with taking, you can use the discount code QUEEN. BIOptimizers has been super generous to give us a really generous discount. I will link that down in the description link below if you're like, oh, I would love to have the digestive enzymes through BIOptimizers because they're quality-based, because they've done over 4,000 quality tests on there, whereas relative to other companies, that's why I like BIOptimizers, is the integrity component of it. Of course, always do your own research and talk to your healthcare provider before taking any supplements, but this, taking 3 at mealtime, it says with each meal. Sometimes do I do it with every meal? No, I do not. But at least 1 meal a day. And it's been really helpful for that digestion component, particularly with increasing my protein on there. That's pillar number 3, prioritizing protein. If you find that there's a kickback with your tummy, because of GLP-1 medication, masszymes through BIOptimizers has been like my helpful cure for that, and a helpful, not cure, but helpful tool to combine with it. Number 4, pillars for fabulous results with Zepbound 12.5 milligrams is new body image. This has taken me, I still actively am on this. This has literally taken a therapist to help me with this because changing the way that I looked on the outside, that has taken some time to be like, oh, I'm not that big anymore. Like just even picking out pants, like buying new jeans, of like, oh, that's just not my body type anymore. I still get sometimes panicked when I'm on an airplane, when I travel, that I can still clip the seatbelt together. I don't need an extender, or I don't have to suck in so badly. I was traumatized one time when I was morbidly obese on an airplane, of where someone just kept bumping me because I was so big on the airplane seat. But I still like, it makes me panic sometimes just like clipping that little seatbelt on there and sitting in an airplane seat, recognizing I don't have that anymore today. That's not my life. My life is I'm an active, healthy woman who lifts and walks 2 to 6 miles per day. My pant size is dramatically different and my body shape is different. And so wrapping my brain to catch up with that has taken me a hot second. So if it takes you a hot second to catch up to where your body is with your weight loss, it's totally normal. It's totally, totally normal with body image changes and getting used to that. This used to be my husband's sweater. It's like he's Jack McFarlane, not really. No, his sweatshirt, like to zip it up, it's very form-fitting, and my husband is hot, and he's just a hot little thing, and could easily zip it. And I was like, he didn't want it anymore. He bought a couple others, and I was like, oh, well, I'll take it, but it was too tight on me and like literally showed all my fat rolls, and now it fits. And so wrapping my brain around of like, oh, I'm a size medium/large top. My pants are size 14. God willing, be soon as a size 12. And so moving out of plus size, I'm not a 3X top anymore. And so getting rid of those clothes too. Don't keep them in your closet. Get rid of them. I kept one, like pants, a couple of things to show like just for my own, this is what I used to look like, but I don't have them in there because I will not wear them I'm done with that. New phase of life. So number 4 pillar is getting used to the new body image. At this point, if you're 5 months, if not more on the medication, it is a new way of living. And so that takes a hot second to get used to. Tip number 5, pillar number 5 is building muscle. At this point, you probably have seen some muscle mass loss if you have not been lifting, and my encouragement for you is to lift. I have a lifting app that I've been testing, and so I'll link that down in the description link below that I really love. I had a lifting coach that I hired many, many months ago to help me with lifting, and so I'm grateful for that I really wanted a lifting coach, but it's $100 a month. And I knew many of you would not, that just wasn't part of the budget for some people. And so I very much wanted to be cognizant of that. And also I quite frankly wanted an app. I wanted an app where I could just look on my phone and know, okay, this is what my workout's gonna be. I lift every other day. This is what my workout's gonna be. This is what I need to do. It shows me the video as to how to do it. Weights that I should recommend to do it. So I'll link that down in the description link below with all the information on it. But to combat muscle mass loss, if you are not lifting right now, I'm going to say with love, grace, kindness, and compassion, you are setting yourself up for some major problems in the future. Talk to your healthcare provider on that, because I'm not a healthcare provider, but I know that is coming down the pike. If we have muscle mass loss, which happens with, not if, we do, with any sort of substantial weight loss, not just GLP-1 medication, we have to combat that, which hence the protein, the high protein, and also with working out and lifting to build that muscle. And if you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing, that's why I really enjoy this app, because it's AI based. It will go in with your preferences. I have creaky knees, and so it kept recommending squats to me, and I'm like, stop recommending the squats. Because I've bought other programs of where they recommend, and I'm like, no, this is not customized if you're making me do squats, because my knees are like popcorn, or like, which collagen has helped, but I digress. That's a topic for another day. I'll do a whole other video on that, but it's gotten better. But with that, I've been able to switch. They have other exercises, lifting exercises I can switch to, which has been crazy. Like, it's been so awesome to find things and you can substitute in other things with the videos with it. I never would have thought to do it that way. And I can lift from home. I don't want to drive to a gym. I don't. Some of you do. And if you do, they have also in the app that was very helpful with it. But with muscle mass loss, that may be, if you look in the mirror and you're like, I have so much loose skin. I have so much loose skin. Muscle lifting is not going to get rid of the loose skin. The only thing that is really going to get rid of loose skin is a plastic surgeon, truly. But underneath my loose skin, honey, I got muscle. And this arm here, it's getting nice and firm. And I'm proud of that. I'm really, really proud of that. Because eventually I will get the plastic surgeon to take off the loose skin. And with that, I want to be most importantly strong. Most importantly, and support my bones, because the muscles around the bones, that is what's helping them, can lead to osteoporosis with it. Also, with muscle mass loss, I take, and I talk about all the time because I'm obsessed with it, magnesium breakthrough through BIOptimizers. Use the discount code QUEEN. There was a study done with NIH. I want to pull it up, and I will make sure I cite my source down in the description link below about, can magnesium help? Let's get the title of the study that was done at NIH. It was done, and this study's older. It's an older one, but still nonetheless from National Library of, excuse me, it's National Library of Medicine, not NIH. It was National Library of Medicine. Can magnesium enhance exercise performance? And basically, here's the results, the summary. I'm not going to go through the whole study, but if you're lifting, this was very helpful for me, is that magnesium is an essential mineral involved with energy metabolism, cardiorespiratory function, and muscle actions. The general population, even physically active individuals, is documented to have insufficient magnesium intake. Exercise performance may be compromised with deficient magnesium levels. Findings from animal studies suggest magnesium supplementation may improve the efficiency of energy metabolism, while human studies indicate magnesium supplementation may improve performance parameters in aerobic and anaerobic exercise. However, more future rigorous studies, especially large-scale intervention studies in humans, are needed to establish the causal relationship. But so that for me, I was like, yep, that's helping with my lifting. And it is, like it is with the muscle recovery with it too. So that, if you want to get the mass lines and the magnesium breakthrough, rock on with your bad self. Next pillar number 6, at 5 months, this is where you may see weight plateaus. And weight plateaus are normal. It's not going to be, in my experience, a linear down line. It's like, that just means you're ready for the next level, honey. First, obviously, that blood panel, making sure that there's nothing else going on, which I'm sure it's probably not, but just double checking the blood panel. And then also just recognizing weight plateaus are totally normal. Going from 300 pounds now to losing 106 pounds, yeah, I had weight loss plateaus in there. And also I was losing in a rapid weight at the beginning because I had so much weight to lose. Now that I'm almost near my goal weight, it's now if I lose a half a pound per week, I'm happy. Half a pound to 2 pounds per week, I'm excited. For me, typically I have a whoosh of where I don't lose or gain a little bit, there's some weight gain or whatever, and then I have this whoosh. And that has been traditionally how most of my weight loss has gone the last 26 months of being on Zepbound, Mounjaro, and Tirzepatide compound. By the way, if I didn't say, the combination of those was because of the shortage. So knowing that plateaus may happen, but that's why combating with the food changes and the workout changes are really important for permanent lifestyle changes, not just like a flash in the pan with this. Tip number, where were we? That was tip number 6, is at 5-month mark, if you stop, 70% of people gain the weight back. And just recognizing that. 30% of people have success of keeping the weight off once they lose it, 70% don't. In terms of odds, if I was in Vegas, I would not bet on that. I'd be like, oh, 70% chance of failure. But recognizing that, but many people have to stop the medications for lack of insurance coverage, finances, changes in jobs. Like there's a lot of things that can really switch this up quite a bit. And so if that happens of where it's out of your control with finances or insurance changing or things like that, I have other videos of where I've talked about that too. But just knowing that if you do choose to stop, there's a 70% weight gain back on that and keeping that in mind. Tip number 7, gastrointestinal issues as you titrate up that first week, the first dose or the second dose of Zepbound 12.5 milligrams, you may have gastrointestinal issues. Totally common. Remember, we've had them before: diarrhea, constipation, nausea, vomiting. There's 4 of them. Just in my experience, just because I had one at one dose did not mean I didn't have anything else at the other. I had never had nausea and vomiting as a side effect until I hit Zepbound 15 milligrams. So keeping that in mind too, that gastrointestinal things for me definitely switched. As my body changed, it ebbed and flowed. So keeping that in your peripheral vision about gastrointestinal things may happen, particularly when we titrate up a dose on Zepbound, regardless of the dose. For me, it was week 1 and week 2, the first and the second of that dosing with the new dose. Like, so for 12, if you were on 10 milligrams, going up to 12.5 milligrams, week 1, week 2, may see some more diarrhea, some not vomiting or nausea. Vomiting for me, again, like I said, I only vomited twice out of literally now over 106 plus injections. I'll take that. For the lifestyle that I have now, this is where I'm like, I totally will take that. I 100% will take that to be able to go horseback riding and do all of these really, really cool things that I'm doing. Yeah, I'll take a little nausea. I'll take a little nausea. I had worse nausea when I was pregnant with my kids, so I will take this. Question of the day, what are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? Tell me down in the comments down below. And number 2, our emoji of the day. Our emoji of the day is going to be lips, because we are not just talkers, we are doers. And so while speaking about things is awesome, really, what are you implementing? What are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? So our emoji of the day, and I do emojis of the day, by the way, to get to know you better because I care. Literally, I do a daily show because I care so much about our community. Y'all, in the words of Josh Groban, you raised me up. You guys, don't worry, I'm not trying out for American Idol, my tone deaf self. You guys really do raise me up, which is why I love our community, because iron sharpens iron. Someone else said they're like, iron sharpens iron, but so does a soft cloth, which I love too. So now I feel like I have to say that as well. So thank you. If that was you who said that, I appreciate you for saying that. That was great reframe. But truly, I love this community. So put the lips down below if you've made it this far in the video, and I'll know. I look forward to genuinely seeing people's names pop up. And in today's community spotlight, these rotate. I don't pick these. YouTube does. YouTube does. And in today's community spotlight, it's Pamela, Amy, Stormy, Kimberly, Cecilia, and then we had from a couple days ago too, there was another update. Let me see if I can pull it up of the other ones. I gotta see if and if your name wasn't picked on there, again, it's not me, it's not YouTube. And I don't quite know how they picked too, by the way. That was one of my questions. I'm like, how are y'all picking people? How are they picking the people? Okay, maybe I don't have it. Oh, okay. Michelle, Alicia, Cecilia, Angie, Karma, and then I think I already said Pamela. I love you guys so super much. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious. Snag your magnesium breakthrough and Masszymes. Use that discount code QUEEN. Use that discount code QUEEN, and it's all, the direct link is down in the description link below. Love you guys. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye. Love you.